Hey Crafty fam, it's Alex Vanover and welcome back to my craft room. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create registration marks in Cricut Design Space so that you can layer your vinyl decals way easier than just winging it. But I will say, if you're a beginner either with layering or with vinyl, you may want to choose a little bit less intricate of a design than this one because it did prove to be a little bit challenging to get all of this off the transfer tape. However, if you love this design and you want to do it, then you do you. I totally believe in you. So let's get to it. So the first step to adding registration marks so that you can layer all of your vinyl is actually attaching all of the layers that you know are going to go together. So if you look over here on the right hand side, you can already see that I have all of the colors all selected and attached in all the different colors that I want to make them. So make sure that you do that process before you even start with the registration marks to make your life a little bit easier. And I have a total of 5 colors here, which means I'm going to have a total of 5 layers. So in order to add the registration marks, we're going to go over to the Shapes panel and select Square. And then we're going to turn this into a little tiny rectangle by unclicking the lock and making it really small. It doesn't need to be, super big or anything. It just needs to be enough where you can line it up. So I'll set one square there, and then I'll go over to Duplicate, and I'll get a second square. So then I'm going to select both by using the Shift key and clicking it, and then I'm going to select Align and Center vertically so that they're perfectly across from each other and even. And then I'm going to select Attach so that they're their own layer. So then once the 2 registration marks are attached, I'm going to duplicate it for a total of 5 sets of these boxes, 1 for each layer. Then I'm going to roughly stack these on top of each other. I know you can't tell a difference just yet, but I'll show you what to do here in just a second. So you're sort of just getting them in place approximately where you want them. And then if you go over to the Layers panel, you can select Shift and click all over the Layers panel to find all your sets of boxes. So again, for my project, I'll have a total of 5, but however many you have. You can actually use the Align function and click Center, and that will get all of your boxes in exactly the same place. And remember, as long as they're outside the design, it doesn't really matter where the registration marks are. I usually like to do 2 just because those are easy to line up at the top. And actually, you know what? In order to make my transfer tape a little bit easier, I'm going to move them up just a hair. So after I zoom out from Design Space, I'm going to click and drag a box around my whole design, and I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I'd like these registration marks to be a little bit above so that it makes it easier to line up my transfer tape. I'll show you guys what I mean when I get to that point. But now that we have 5 sets of our boxes, we're going to select a set of boxes and then go down and select a color layer, again by holding Shift and clicking. And then we're going to select Attach. Then we are free to totally move this out of the way, and we'll repeat the process for all the rest of the layers. And by the time you're done, each color layer will have a set of boxes with it. And you'll know that it's attached because registration marks will turn the same color as the vinyl. So that's how you know that you are good to go. And then I know it looks really crazy, but hang with me, we're almost there. Go to the Make It screen. And to double check that you have everything just how you want it, you can tell that each layer is separated onto a separate mat, and each layer will have a set of boxes at the top. Then when you get to the next screen and you connect to your machine, I'm going to cut everything on the vinyl setting because I'm going to be using permanent adhesive vinyl, but choose your cut setting, cut everything out, and then weed it. And next, I'll show you how to add transfer tape and layer it. All right, guys, so to get started with layering with registration marks, I've taped down the layer that I want to be my base layer. So this is going to be the layer where I add all of the other colors of vinyl to, and I did tape it down with painter's tape just to make it easier as I'm peeling up a bunch of transfer tape. I didn't want to be, peeling my vinyl backing all over the place. So next I'm going to start with this color, and I'm just going to put transfer tape on it like you normally would. This is the clear medium tack from 651 Vinyl, which is now 143vinyl.com, by the way. I absolutely love this transfer tape if you're looking for a great high quality tape. It's amazing, it's so easy to use, and it's not super tacky, which is exactly what you want with these small intricate pieces. So what I like to do is I actually like to lay my transfer tape out and take my vinyl to my transfer tape. I've always found that I get a little bit better results that way. So I'm just gonna lay my vinyl down like this, and then slowly smooth it down so that I'm not getting a bunch of wrinkles into my cut. All right, so once you've got your transfer tape on and you've burnished, I'm gonna start by actually peeling back just the top of this where the registration marks are. And the reason for that is so that I can line up the registration marks without risking messing up the rest of my vinyl. So if I peel my backing back like this, I am free to line up my registration marks up top. And then I can peel off the rest of the backing before I lay it down on top of my wreath. I may not get through all the rest of my layers with this one piece, but another thing I love about this transfer tape is that you can use it layer after layer. Oh, you know what? I forgot to burnish with my squeegee over the navy areas, since that hasn't had any transfer tape on it yet. Of course, y'all, I couldn't just pick a simple design to show you how to layer. I had to pick an intricate one with the prettiest fall design on it. It's super cute, but it definitely was intricate and took a while to cut. So if you are super new with layering, you may want to choose a cut that's a little bit more simple and has less little pieces like this one does. And this will actually get easier each layer because my transfer tape will get a little bit less sticky each time that I use it, which will actually work to my advantage. Because I think one thing that a lot of new crafters think is that they think they need super sticky transfer tape in order to, transfer their vinyl. But the reality is you want to use the least sticky transfer tape that you can get away with. That makes your life so much easier, and it's just really not necessary. Vinyl's really thin, really, really easy to transfer. But another thing, if you are new to vinyl, is I do recommend getting a high quality transfer tape. You'll hear lots of people talking about using like Dollar Tree contact paper and stuff like that. And though that will work in a pinch especially, or if you really need it to work, I feel like that is something that you get what you pay for. And transfer tape can make or break your project, honestly. It can make it super difficult. If you're having issues with your vinyl, a lot of times the problem is actually your transfer tape, not the vinyl itself. So that's why I recommend getting a high quality transfer tape. All right, so before we get to our next layer, I'm gonna help my transfer tape become a little less sticky by actually flipping it over and sticking it to my mat a little bit, just to help get rid of some of the tack. Don't you guys love how I used just one piece of transfer tape for this entire project? I think that's so amazing. I love not wasting transfer tape. Makes me so happy. All right. So we'll peel back the top layer. And lay it down nice and slow. We got a few wrinkles in this last layer, but it'll be okay. So we'll burnish the areas that are gonna need it. And we'll peel off our last layer of transfer tape. It seems like the newest layer always wants to come up with the transfer tape, no matter how little sticky is left on it. It's always a little bit tough to get that layer on there for the first time, but once it gets stuck, it does a really good job of staying down. And once you peel off that layer, you guys, it's all finished. Of course, before you add your design to anything, you'll want to peel off these registration marks because you don't need those anymore. Those were literally just for placement. But you guys can see how this concept can make layering tons and tons of layers way easier than just trying to wing it and guess. Especially with a wreath like this, you want to make sure that it looks nice and balanced at the end. So I love the way that this turned out with registration marks. If we haven't connected on social media already, I would love to see your vinyl decals and anything else that you've made using my tutorials. So you can always find me and tag me at DIY Alex Vanover. And if you're on Instagram, I want you to use the hashtag DIY Alex to show me all of your amazing work because I love to meet you guys and see what you're making. I'll also put links down in the description directly to all my social media platforms in case you can't find me at DIY Alex Vanover. And if you're pretty new to the Cricut, check out this playlist right here for Cricut for Beginners. This has all of my tips and tricks for beginners that you definitely need to know as you're getting into your Cricut and getting more crafty. And if you haven't already subscribed right here to DIY Alex, I would totally appreciate if you would subscribe, and I would love it if you'd scroll down and ring the bell right next to subscribe and select all notifications from the drop down so you never miss when I upload a new video Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope we can craft again soon.